What started off as a small lie but then snowballed into, "This is my life now." When I was 16, I told my crush Emma that I was fluent in French. She was obsessed with Paris and kept talking about how hot French guys were. I barely passed beginner French, but I figured it sounded cool. The next week, Emma invited me to dinner at her house. Her dad was this fancy wine guy who collected vintage bottles and had pictures of French vineyards all over their dining room. As soon as Emma mentioned I spoke French, his eyes lit up. "Ah, magnifique. We must practice together," he said in this terrible accent. Then he started speaking actual French, and I just nodded and smiled like an idiot, throwing in random oui and bonjour responses. Somehow, he was impressed. He asked if I could tutor Emma's little brother Kevin, who was failing French class. Kevin was this awkward kid who collected Pokemon cards and ate peanut butter sandwiches for every meal. I panicked and said yes because Emma was sitting right there, looking at me like I was some worldly genius. That night, I downloaded every French app I could find. Duolingo, Babbel, even those weird YouTube videos where cartoon characters teach you curse words. I spent hours memorizing basic scripts about ordering coffee and asking for directions. The first tutoring session was a disaster. Kevin asked me how to conjugate avoir, and I just stared at him. I made up some fake grammar rule about French verbs being mood-based and told him to practice feeling emotions while saying words. Kid actually bought it, but Emma's dad started bragging about me to his friends. Suddenly, half the neighborhood knew about the French prodigy who was dating his daughter. Mrs. Chen from down the street asked me to help her with a Paris travel guide. The mailman started greeting me with bonjour every morning. By senior year, word had spread to school. My guidance counselor called me into her office and said she was writing a college recommendation letter highlighting my impressive bilingual abilities. She'd already submitted it to 3 universities, including one with a competitive international studies program. I got accepted, full scholarship. The letter specifically mentioned my native-level French proficiency as a deciding factor. I had 2 choices: confess the lie and lose everything, or learn French for real. So I picked French literature as my major and studied like my life depended on it. 8 hours a day, watching French movies with subtitles, reading children's books, talking to myself in the mirror. My freshman roommate thought I was having a breakdown. I'd wake up at 5 a.m. practicing pronunciation, repeating "je ne sais pas" until it sounded natural. I joined the French club, dated a girl from Quebec, even started dreaming in broken French sentences. Junior year, I did a semester abroad in Lyon. It was terrifying. I'd order food and pray they wouldn't ask follow-up questions. But slowly, something clicked. The fake accent became real. The memorized phrases turned into actual thoughts. By graduation, I was actually fluent, like really fluent. I could argue about philosophy, make jokes, even understand when old French ladies complained about the weather. Now I'm 25, living in a tiny apartment in Montmartre, working as a tour guide at the Louvre. I speak French better than some native speakers. My coworkers think I'm some American genius who fell in love with French culture as a kid. Emma? I haven't talked to her since sophomore year. She's married to some accountant in Ohio and posts pictures of her kids on Facebook. She has no idea her teenage crush on Paris accidentally created my entire career.